The strongest minds don't fight for control. They radiate it. Not through force, not through words, but through presence. In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes strategy. And when you learn to influence without speaking, you stop reacting and start reshaping reality itself. Let's be real for a moment. You've been told all your life that being kind, being honest, and being true to yourself will earn you respect. That if you just do good, good things will come back to you. But life doesn't work like that, does it? Because out here in the real world, kindness is often mistaken for weakness, and honesty, well, honesty doesn't always win you applause. Sometimes it puts a target on your back. You can keep living in that illusion, or you can wake up to how the game is actually played. The people who rise, the ones who command attention and respect, they're not always the loudest or the strongest. They're the ones who understand psychological influence. They move differently, speak strategically, think 3 steps ahead, and they know something most don't. Power isn't something you take, it's something you project. Today I'm going to show you 5 psychological tactics that give you quiet control. Not the flashy kind that screams for attention, but the subtle power that makes people lean in, listen, and follow your lead, without even realizing why. Use these and people won't just see you differently. They'll feel it, especially the 3rd tactic. Once you learn it, you'll never approach conversations the same way again. Let's get into it. Tactic 1, mirrored framing, the art of internal sync. We don't realize it, but every person is walking around inside a mental bubble, a frame they use to interpret the world. If you try to argue or insert your ideas from outside their frame, their defenses go up. But if you know how to step into their frame first, you instantly earn trust. This is called mirrored framing, a way to communicate where the other person feels like you get it without you ever explicitly agreeing with them. Let's say someone's venting to you about how exhausted they are with their job. A normal response might be, "Yeah, I feel that too." Or worse, "It's not that bad, at least you have a job." But mirrored framing takes a different route. You say, "Sounds like you've been carrying more than what anyone sees." Boom! You didn't give advice. You didn't judge. You reflected their internal world back to them. That creates an unspoken connection. And in that moment, they see you not just as a person, but as someone who understands. Use this in negotiations. Use it in arguments. Use it in leadership. It turns you from an outsider into an insider. And from there, you can lead them anywhere. But be subtle. If it feels too perfect, it'll feel manipulative. Make it natural. Make it real. Tactic 2, the delayed reaction, turning silence into suspense. Most people are in a constant rush to speak. We interrupt. We fill every gap. We react instantly, especially when emotions are involved. But what if I told you that waiting just 3 seconds before responding could flip the entire dynamic of power? Here's how it works. Someone criticizes you, questions you, or puts you on the spot. Most would jump to defend themselves. Instead, pause. 3 seconds. Hold eye contact. Stay still. That silence creates psychological discomfort. For them, because now they're unsure. They expect resistance or agreement. Instead, they get space, and space forces them to start filling in the blanks. They second guess. They soften. Sometimes they even explain themselves more. All because you didn't react immediately. It's not just about conversations. This applies to texts, emails, job interviews. The person who's comfortable in silence always seems more composed, more powerful. It says, "I think before I act. I choose my words. I'm not controlled by impulse." Use it wisely, don't overdo it. But when tension rises, that brief pause becomes your strongest weapon. Tactic 3, looping, the curiosity trap. Let's talk about human attention. We're wired to seek closure. When something feels unfinished, it bothers us. It stays in our head. It loops. This is why cliffhangers work in shows. It's why unresolved stories live rent-free in our minds. Now imagine turning that mechanism on purpose during your conversations. Here's what you do. Start a thought. Make it sound important, but stop before completing it. Example: you know the real reason I stopped working with them? Well, that's a story for another day. You just opened a loop, and that person's brain has to close it. It's not optional. They'll ask, they'll probe, and just like that, they're emotionally invested, not just in what you're saying, but in you. This is why charismatic speakers and leaders seem magnetic. They drop ideas, hints, stories, but never all at once. They let you come closer, mentally, inch by inch. Don't abuse it. If every sentence is a mystery, you'll seem like a walking riddle. But used at the right time, especially when you want someone's full attention, looping makes them chase the conversation instead of just listening to it. Tactic 4, the reverse question, disarming without defending. Ever had someone throw a passive-aggressive comment at you? Something like, "Oh, you think you're better than us now?" Your instinct might be to defend yourself, or argue, or walk away. But there's a better way. Instead of reacting, you turn it into a question, a reverse question. You simply ask, "Why do you say that?" Or even more powerfully, "Do you really think that?" This does two things. 1, it puts the spotlight back on them. 2, it forces them to confront the meaning or weakness behind their own words. Often, people throw out insults or power plays without thinking. When you calmly ask for clarity, it shatters the illusion of control they had. You're not playing defense. You're inviting reflection. And that move, calm, centered, curious, makes you look unshakable. Because power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the ability to stay still while others flail around emotionally. So next time someone tries to provoke you, don't take the bait. Ask the question. Watch the shift. Tactic 5, subtle suggestion, the power of internal ownership. Here's the thing about advice. Most people don't want it. Even when they ask for it, what they really want is validation or clarity, not instruction. So instead of telling people what to do, let them believe they came up with it themselves. Let's say a friend is stuck in a toxic relationship. You know what they need to do. But if you say, "You need to leave," they'll resist. They'll defend. Even if they secretly agree. Instead, ask, "How do you feel after spending time with them lately?" Or, "If your best friend was in your situation, what would you tell them?" You're pointing their thoughts in a direction, but you're letting them walk there. And when they arrive, they'll feel the insight was theirs. That's called subtle suggestion, and it's one of the most powerful tools of persuasion. Use it in mentorship, in negotiations, even in parenting. Because people rarely reject their own ideas. Guide them gently and you'll never have to push. Let's recap. These 5 tactics don't rely on force, dominance, or flashy charisma. They rely on awareness, timing, and the psychology of subtle influence. Mirrored framing builds trust without words. The delayed reaction flips tension into control. Looping hijacks curiosity and keeps attention. The reverse question disarms aggression with calm. Subtle suggestion guides decisions without resistance. And when you start applying even one of these, something strange happens. People treat you differently. They lean in. They hesitate before speaking. They remember you, even if you said little. Why? Because your presence shifts. You're no longer reacting to life. You're designing your interactions. This isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. You're not forcing outcomes, you're shaping the environment where the right outcomes happen naturally. And here's the secret no one tells you. Power isn't something you earn through loudness or luck. It's something you build silently over time, through how you show up, speak, and respond. So now you have a choice. You can let this be just another video you watch and forget, or you can start using what you've just learned. The next time you're in a conversation, pause for 3 seconds. Next time someone tries to corner you, ask a question instead of defending. Next time you want to influence someone, guide them through curiosity, not commands. These are the moves that elevate you from passive observer to quiet strategist. And remember, the most powerful person in the room isn't always the loudest. It's the one who knows the game and plays it with silence, grace, and precision. Which tactic are you going to try first? Drop a comment below. Let's see who's actually stepping into quiet power. And if you're ready to unlock even more, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because what's coming next might just shift the way you see everything. If this message stirred something within you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Someone else might be walking the same silent path, waiting for a sign that they're not alone. Stay grounded, stay thoughtful, stay awake. For more deep dives into philosophy, the human experience, and timeless truths, subscribe and turn on the bell. Wander the void with wonder. Question deeply, think freely. Until next time, embrace the silence and let it speak.